Hey guys, Mike coming back with another video. This time I got a little bit of everything, a nice selection, and a very cool program that I'll be saving for last year. Hope everybody's been doing well, recovering for those that went to the National, getting back into routine. But I've got another photo to show too at the end. I'm going to steal off Rick vintage oddball cards and have my photo of the day too. But to start out, I'm going to start over here with some Jewish major leaguers, or actually one. Sam Bone or Bon, I've heard both. I got this group of three from Sean. Sean, thank you very much. I'll get these sent off to SGC, but it's a 1923 Sam Bone Maple Crispet, which is out of Canada, I believe. Not something you see a whole lot of. Montreal. Looks like you could actually send in these cards and get a baseball, a glove, or a bat, which is pretty cool, for free. And this is his American Caramel from 1922. Another very cool card. Very similar to the exhibit and such. Very nice. And Sean was kind enough to see this on eBay and bought it, and I bought it off of him. This is a Johnny Bench Tech card. It's a yellow, I guess they call it so-called yellow printing plate. It's not a plate at all, it's just another card. It's a 1 of 1, the yellow version of the base card. But glad to add that to the collection too. So thank you, Sean, for those three. Really appreciate that. And we'll move on to a couple of Hank cards. This one you might say, oh, wait a second, that didn't say Hank, it's Charles Gehringer, the Hall of Fame second baseman for the Tigers. Well, it is. Nice signature. Most of his are. But this one is numbered out of 5. But if you look at, the first time I saw this card online, I was looking, I said, wait a second, Gehringer batted left. And I said, he's batting right-handed. And I took a closer look and I went, wait a second. It's a Gehringer card, but they got Hank. They put a picture of Hank swinging on it. So this is a nice oddball card for the collection. Gehringer cut auto, and it's supposed to be a picture of him, but they put Hank in it for some reason. So that's very cool. Glad to get that. And I got this. Now this is an example of how Topps has done to certain cut autos. It's out of Diamond Icons, a very high-end set. This is 2017. It's 1 out of 4. It's a nice cut auto. It's got the whole auto in there, which is unusual for Topps lately. But there's just nothing going on. It's just as bland as possible. And if you've seen the old SP Legendary cuts, you'll know what I'm talking about. They knew how to do it correctly. Now, of course, Topps probably doesn't have, well, I should say definitely doesn't have the right to put Hank's image on cards right now. Whether the estate of Hank won't let them or they haven't asked, I don't know. All their all their high-end cards come out with a Hank cut auto in them for the most part. But I needed this for my Hank collection since it's out of 4. The 1 of 1s I don't usually bother with, but not being out of 4, I decided to go ahead and get it. But yeah, it's not my favorite, but nice auto. And I got this. This is a nice piece I got off eBay. This is a, you call it a cut, I guess, but it's kind of like a history of his his years. Nice to see them all put together. And I'll let you take a look at that if you want. You can pause it. He led the league in home runs 5 times. And in RBIs, it looks like 4. He missed, as you can see too, he missed most of 41, 42, all 42, 43, 44, half of 45, and most of 36 from an injury. So he literally lost 5.5 years to injuries. That's why if you look at his total home runs, he's had 331 with 1,276 RBIs in 1,394 games. I think he easily would have had 500 home runs if he'd been able to play all those years. Just because he hit between 30 and as high was 58. And there's just no doubt, and he would be a lot more well known in the hobby and in the history of baseball. Career 313 hitter, just amazing, really. And it's got a nice green Hank Auto on it, which green's my favorite. But just a nice piece there. Really enjoy that one. And then the main piece I want to show you, well, one of two. This is something I've been looking for a little while. This is a program from 1943. It's the All-Star War Bond game. It held at the Polo Grounds August 26, 1943. This was going to be a main fundraiser for the service selling war bonds. They were expected to make $100 million off of this game in bond sales or pledges. I'll say that again, $100 million. Supposedly, with all the pledges and donations and ticket stubs and all that, they made $800 million, which some people are skeptical. They think that's like the equivalent, I think I read, of $13 billion today from one game. So I tend to doubt that, but supposedly they sold general admission tickets, and I've got a proof copy of one here to show you, for $18.75, which was a which you bought a bond, that would be the equivalent of buying a $25 bond you buy for $18.75 until it matured. The front row boxes, they had 50 of them at the game, and they were supposedly $1 million a piece. Now think about that, in 1943. That's kind of crazy. But they had like 38,000 people showed up for the game, and it was really, and the other amazing thing about it was that, and I'm going to show you here, many existing Hall of Famers showed up for the game. Here's a picture. Now, that's not a vintage, this is something I copied, but it's got Honus Wagner, Babe Ruth, Walter Johnson, Frankie Frisch, Tris Speaker, just a who's who at the time of players. I think Ruth was 48 at the time. Walter Johnson was 53. To me, Honus Wagner always looks like he's about 60. I don't know what he was at the time. But just an amazing group of athletes and Hall of Famers on the field at this time. And the one thing it's also known for this game, I think Ruth's last game was in 1935. So this is like 8 years later. And I think I said he was like, oh goodness, I can't remember. He was like 48, and I think Walter Johnson was 53 or 54. And Babe Ruth hit a home run in this game off of Walter Johnson. And it was Babe Ruth's last home run he ever hit in a major league park. I'm not for sure if they had the fields the proper lengths, but he did hit a home run off Walter Johnson in 1943. How crazy is that? They played the Camp Cumberland All-Stars, which was a service team. And the reason I love it so much is because you can see here, there's the team. It included Captain Hank Greenberg in 1943. Also, Enos Slaughter, Bertie Tebbetts, just any player that was in the service that they could get to play, mainly from the East Coast. I think Kurt Gowdy was the manager. I think I can't remember who was supposed. ML Ott was supposed to be for the American League team, which was made up of Giants, Dodgers, and Yankees. And there's some of those that they were officially put on the program, but the Hall of Fame players were brought in courtesy to give an awards to, and like I said, some of them actually played in the game. I think it said there's 43 players that actually played in the game. In case you're wondering, the All-Star team won 5-2, even though the Camp Cumberland team actually out-hit them like 14 hits to 9 hits, I believe. But just very cool. And this is a ticket. Now, this is a proof ticket from the game. And they use this to verify authenticity of tickets coming through the gate. It's really nice. You can tell by looking from the sides, it's very thick. Polo Grounds, Thursday, August 26, 43. Journal of the American War Bond Game, All-Stars of Giants, Yanks, Dodgers versus U.S. Service Team, $25. Polo Grounds. It's got like a football surface to it. You can see the dimples all. But just a real cool ticket. I got that a little earlier, and I've been waiting to get the program. I like to find an authentic ticket to go, with it. But being a Hank fan and seeing something that actually designated him as a captain, it's very cool. So anyway, if you look in this, it's a huge program. It's very thick. For all the Hall of Famers, they put a box score of their first game. Like this is Babe Ruth's first game on July 11th, 1914. He pitched and went 0 for 2. It says here his lifetime record was 88 and 44. Playing in Cleveland of the American League. And they did one for each. George Sisler. Honus Wagner's first game. He played for Louisville, which is where I'm at. Went 1 for 2. So this program is loaded with information. Walter Johnson. It's very cool. So anyway, just wanted to show those off, and I do have a photo. This book is just amazing. I mean, it's all kinds of pictures and articles. Ernie Lombardi, Carl Hubble. Just amazing. So anyway, just wanted to show that piece off. That is just so cool. And to think those 38,000 people raised so much money, regardless of whatever amount it really was, for the war effort is just fantastic. So, and I'm going to end it with my photo, as Rick would do. This is a photo of Hank. Now, a little background. In 1934, at this time, this was September the 10th, 1934. It was Rosh Hashanah, which is the Jewish New Year, and part of the High Holy Days. And Hank was, by Jewish law, it should be a day where you don't play. They wouldn't, like Koufax didn't play on Yom Kippur. There's a famous story about him, and because he was Jewish, and Koufax set out, I think it was 1965, game 1. It's one of my favorite stories. When he didn't pitch, they had Don Drysdale pitch, and he got shelled, I think, by the 3rd inning for like 6 runs. And Walter Alston came out, the manager, And supposedly Don Drysdale told him on the mound when he gave him the ball, I bet you wish I was Jewish also. And so that meant he wouldn't have played in the game and he wouldn't have got showed like that. But regardless, going back to 1934, this was September 10th. I think there was 20 games left in the season. The Tigers had a 4-game lead on the Yankees. Now, the Tigers hadn't won a pennant since, I believe it was 1909. So we're talking 25 years. And everybody was wanting Hank to play in this game against the Red Sox to try to keep that lead. And there was a big controversy. The newspaper for Detroit actually put a picture of him with a Happy New Year in Hebrew written on the page. But everybody wanted him to play. He talked to the rabbis, and they actually discussed it. He went ahead and played the game. Later on, when Yom Kippur came up, he didn't play that one, but he did play in this game against Boston. And if typical Tank style, they won the game 2-1. They were down 1-0 early in the game. In the 7th inning, Hank hit a home run to tie the game at 1. And I believe the bottom of the 9th, he came up and hit another home run to win the game 2-1. So if Hank wouldn't have played, obviously they probably wouldn't have won the game and kept that lead and go on to win the American League pennant that year. Who knows? But a game could have been a big, that could have been a big factor in it. But this picture here is from him crossing the plate on the 9th inning when he hit the second home run to win the game. And you can just see with all the press coverage because of it, him either playing or not playing on Rosh Hashanah, you can see all the press around the base as he comes home to tag the plate to win the game. You can even see kids in the back of the photo around us, and it's just an amazing scene after he hit that second home run to win the game. And this picture is from that time. Just really cool. Scoring his home run, his second of the game in the 9th inning, which gave the Tigers a 2-1 win over the Boston Red Sox Monday, September 10th. His first homer took place in the 7th when he drove the ball high over the scoreboard in left field to tie the game. Bishop made the lone run for Boston. So, just a cool piece. I love photos in general, but I especially love photos when they relate to significant events in Hank's life, which obviously this was a big one, and just very cool. So anyway, that's everything. I hope you all enjoyed. I try to bring a mixture. I love the cards, but I love the history, and I love anything related to that, whether it be a photo or a program that was significant, and just very cool. I mean, that Bourbon game with all those Hall of Famers playing, and Babe Ruth hitting a home run off Walter Johnson. I mean, good gracious, that's just unbelievable. But anyway, thanks for watching. I hope everybody's doing well. And Lord willing, we'll do it again. Thank you. Bye-bye.